So the moral of the story is whatever you're thinking about doing right now, just start. What's good, guys? Yo, I know that was a little gimmicky. I know, don't hate me for it, but I was just mowing the lawn, and I don't know if you guys can see all the way over there. Basically, I just got done mowing 1 acre out of 4, and it kind of just hit me. Look, when I started and I decided that I was going to start doing this YouTube channel, I knew nobody was going to watch it, and that's okay. And I started anyways. And here's why. When I was mowing the lawn, it was kind of an epiphany for me. I woke up this morning knowing that I had to come out here. Again, there's 4 acres that needs to get done. I'm planning on probably getting 2 done today because it also goes all the way back there and all the way over there. And I was trying to give every excuse. You know, I got to my warehouse this morning and I was like feeling the grass. I was like, oh, there's too much dew on there. I don't want to do it, ruin the mower, or, you know, it might be too hot. It's the middle of summer, but honestly, summer is the reason why it needs to get done so badly. But there was a lot of excuses. And as I was doing that first acre, I do what I call is the circle method. I don't know if there's an actual name for it. I know some people, like for example, will go line, turn around, line, back and forth. I like to go in a circle, so I go around and around like a spiral until it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And it hit me when I was doing that. I was like, as I started, I was like, man, it's gonna take forever. And then as I kept going and kept going and kept going, eventually I was like, man, the circle was getting way smaller, and I was making smaller turns and smaller turns instead of like wide out. It just slowly spiraled in. And it kind of became a metaphor because at the same time I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I need to record my long form for today and get a post out for it. And it kind of hit me with the whole YouTube thing, was like, you just have to start, man. Like, nobody's gonna watch this. I think my last video got 12 views. And honestly, man, if you guys are watching this and you were one of those 12 views, I fucking love you, dude. Like, that is incredible and feels amazing that, you know, hopefully somebody's getting something out of it. But again, 12 in the grand scheme of, you know, you have people like Mr. Beast and Moist Critical and stuff, and you know, they post and then within 13 minutes they have hundreds of thousands of views. But that's the point, is every channel has started at 0. Every single one started at 0. And every business starts with 0 customers. And every person that's ever gone to the gym has started by not knowing anything about being in the gym. They started weak, they started small. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger had to start somewhere, man. Even The Rock, dude. Like, yeah, granted, he was a football player, so he had some athletic ability, but once he got into the weight room, it's a whole different beast. And if they would have never started, if Steve Jobs would have never started, if, what's his name from Amazon? You know who I'm talking about. He started selling books out of his mom's basement. If he would have never started, he wouldn't be one of the richest men in the world right now. If Mr. Beast would have never started, he would not be one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, making probably hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. It's insane. Everyone starts somewhere, and it's exactly like mowing this lawn. It gets, you build momentum. You start chipping away at it. You know, my first video on here, I think it got 2 views, and then the second one got like 5 views, and then yesterday's one got 12 views. You know, this one could totally flop. I could get no views, but that's okay. The point is that you keep going, you keep getting better. That circle, that spiral starts getting smaller. And then eventually you're going to get to the point where you're like, man, that acre that I just mowed, or, you know, apply that wherever you want, that wasn't that bad. And I can keep going. And the thing is you get momentum, and it has a snowball effect. So for example, like with YouTube videos, you know, I have 3 or 4 out now, but give me 10 months and I'm going to be doing this every single day. Talk about something, try to bring you guys value every single day, sharpen my speaking skills every single day, show the algorithm, hey man, I'm here, and even if you're not sending me people to my videos yet, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Give me 10 months. By that time, that's 300 videos, man. At minimum, like some months obviously have 31 days. So a little over 300 videos in 10 months. And you don't think that that's going to have a snowball effect? Of course it is, man. So the moral of the story is whatever you're thinking about doing right now, just start. A lot of people, I've seen friends and family members, they have this great idea, and that's the part that everyone is good at, is having amazing ideas. Everybody is just like you in that regard, where they're like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to do this and that, and they have all these amazing ideas, and everyone is at some regard chasing like a dopamine fix. So they do things like they do the easy stuff that feels good. So for example, like when you start a business, you're like, I'm gonna go establish the LLC. Boom, dopamine hit. You feel great. You have an official LLC now. I'm gonna get my logo. Boom, dopamine hit. I'm gonna get my website. Boom, dopamine hit. And then the momentum slows down when it's time to start posting content, or it's time to start putting out a product, or it's time to start go knocking doors and trying to get sales and getting customers and stuff like that. The hard part, that's the part that differentiates between the 99% and the 1%. And again, it's just go do it. I mean, if you're starting a business, just for example, take my sister. She was in that phase where she was like, I'm getting my logo, I'm setting up my Instagram, maybe I should do an LLC, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And I was thinking this whole time, I was like, those are the easy parts. And quite honestly, I mean, I hate to say it, but I didn't have a lot of hope that she was going to follow through. But then I saw her very quickly pivot out of that pre-market phase. She started creating her products. I think last weekend she was at a pop-up, like there for 5 or 6 hours. She's posting constantly on Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff, getting her face and her product out there. And honestly, that takes guts, man. That takes guts, because a lot of people were like, oh, they're going to judge me. What are they going to think about this product? What are they going to think about my content? What are they going to think about my videos? And it opens yourself up to a lot of scrutiny. But at the same time, that constructive criticism can be changed. Not scrutiny, but constructive criticism. And you take it and you get better. You kind of use your haters against you. I'm not saying I have haters. So far, it's all been love. But what I'm saying is it takes guts to put yourself out there. And that's what stops a lot of people too, is they're like, they get in this analysis paralysis. Like I was trying to say before, I've had a lot of friends and family that get stuck in that analysis paralysis position, where they're like, I need to know everything about X, Y, and Z, or this business, or let's make it simple. I need to know everything about going to the gym before I start going to the gym, because I don't want to look like a newbie. I don't want people to like look at me and look at my form and laugh at me, or put me on Instagram, or blow me up, or whatever. I don't think that you should go in blindly. But my thing, since I started my eBay business about 4 years ago, was I need to know about 70%. I need to know 70%. I need to know whatever industry you're getting into, or whatever thing you're going to start pursuing, you need to know about 70%. You need to know the jargon of the industry, because every industry has different words that they use that are specific to that industry, and you need to know that. You need to know the basics of how things work and everything. But the rest of that 30%, once you got that 70, just start. Just get in there and learn the other 30% while you go, because that's the thing. You can prepare and prepare and prepare until the cows come home. I don't know if that's even the right cliche, but you can prepare and prepare and prepare, and then think you're at 100%, start, and boom, something has completely changed, and you have to pivot. And again, like I said in my last video, it's not a matter of if you're going to have to pivot, it's when you will have to pivot, because you will have to pivot. When you start something, you're going to have to change direction sometimes. You're going to have to switch things up. And if you're waiting until you know 100% of something, it's like they say, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You think you know everything because you've studied it for so long. But if you go in there saying like, hey, I know 70%, and there's still 30%, a third of things that I don't know that I know I need to know, but I don't even know what I don't know, then at least you're flexible and you're open-minded, and you're like, hey, I'm flexible and I'm able to pivot. When I learn something new, because I know I need to learn something new and I will learn something new, once I do that, it'll be easy to pivot. It's not going to be so hard and rigid and difficult, and you'll be able to capitalize on that momentum, on that snowball effect that I was talking about. I want to give another example. So that is the house that we used to live in, and it's a manufactured home, and it's old. It was built in the 80s. And one day, me and my wife were walking, and my foot almost slipped through the floor. The wood on the flooring was going out. It was like soft spots. And I was like, man, I'm not handy. Like, I can use a hammer and a power saw maybe, but when it comes to terms of like how to do something like fix a soft spot in a flooring, ain't no way, man. At least that's what I thought. Her stepdad came over. We took it apart, all this stuff. I remember just beating it with a hammer, pulling it out just so that like the bad wood could be away, so that we could like figure out the situation of what we needed to do. And once all the flooring was gone, there was just this big hole in the floor, and I was like, man, this is even worse. What are we gonna do? Honestly, like, shout out to her stepdad, because he did teach me something that day. I remember feeling like, holy shit, there's a hole in our floor, and we're gonna have to live here for a couple days because it's gonna take forever to fix. And it didn't. A couple hours later, with his guidance, like, we had put the floor back together. And it was just it was the same thing, that spiral. You just start, and you just do a little bit at a time, and eventually it gets done, and you sit back and you're like, man, that wasn't so bad. And then you know what happened? It's a week later, there was more soft spots. But the difference is I didn't need to call him this time, because I knew how to do it. So I did it. It took longer, but I did it. And then the next weekend there was more soft spots, and I did it again, but I got faster at it. So just start, man. Just honestly, whatever you're thinking about doing, just start. I mean, you look at something like Elon Musk, right? This man is literally launching rockets into space, and that's been done before. But you know what hasn't been done before is having the rocket come back down and being caught. Usually they just fall into the ocean or something like that, and then it's just done. You can't reuse it. This man said, hey, I want to start catching these rockets. Dude, could you imagine? I was thinking about the floors. I was thinking about, how are we going to fix this hole in the floor? It's going to take forever. I don't even know where to start. Could you imagine doing that with the idea of catching a freaking rocket, dude? Like, you had to start somewhere, and it wasn't just like an overnight thing where he was like, all right, I got it. He started somewhere. He pivoted. He changed his direction. I mean, I wasn't there in the room with him, but you can only imagine. You can use cliches and words of wisdom all day, like Rome wasn't built in a day, or anything worth doing is, gonna be hard, whatever. Yo, high key. I thought I finished the video, turned it around, and saw that my phone was overheating. So there's that Florida weather for you, man. Anyways, I think where I left off was talking about Rome not being built in a day. Let's get this thing on. Sorry about that. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And it also reminds me of the thing of like, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? Another cliche. You've heard it a million times. What you might not have heard a million times, you might have heard it, but whatever, is the grass is greener on the side that you water, right? And it's the same thing with the story of two wolves. There's two wolves out in the wilderness. They're the ultimate Sigma males, right? And one of the boys looks at his dad and he says, Father, which one of these wolves is going to survive? The light wolf or the dark wolf? Good and evil. And the father says to his son, very simply, son, whichever wolf you feed is the one that's going to survive. It's the same thing about just starting, man. It's just planting seeds. It's really just about starting. You can see it anywhere with Elon Musk, with Jeff Bezos, with mowing your lawn, man. So if you guys take anything away from this, it's simply just start. Whatever you're thinking about doing, just start it. Just do it. You know, in the Bible, God put man into a garden. And that wasn't just because it's poetic and it sounds nice or whatever. It's symbolic, because in a garden is the one place where you can consume and it be a good thing. Consumption typically isn't that great. You know, you can either consume content constantly all day, every day, or you can create content. You can consume a lot of food, or a lot of products. Say you're like constantly shopping on Amazon, or you can create products and sell them on Amazon. But in a garden, if I consume an apple, there's 6 or so seeds in there. And that consumption is actually good, because I consume the apple. Now those seeds are spread, and there's 6 chances for more apples to grow, right? So there's a reason why the perfect place for man to be before, obviously, the downfall of man, after Adam ate the fruit, was a garden. So whatever you're trying to do right now, whatever you're trying to start, think of it as you're planting seeds. You are now officially a farmer. Okay, I hereby knight you as Sir Farmer. So get out there and plant those seeds, right? Dig that hole. Just start. Dig that hole, put the seed in, and then water it every single day. And that's honestly, it's the reason why when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to be putting out shorts every day, because I was getting a lot of momentum with those. But my long form videos, I'm just going to do once a week, right? And I pivoted. I said, nah, man, I'm going to start doing one every day. And here we are now. I'm on day 3 or 4. I don't know. But again, in 10 months, man, I do this every day. You're going to have over 300 videos. That's incredible. But anyways, the point is that I said, no, I'm not going to do just one a week, because that doesn't mean that I'm nurturing that seed every single day. That just means, hey, if I decide I'm going to start dropping one long form video every Thursday, then that just means, knowing me, on Wednesday is when I'm going to shoot, record, same thing, edit and post and all that stuff. And that's just one day of me nurturing the seed that I'm trying to put a lot of investment in and trying to build and grow and create something amazing out of. So I pivoted and I said, I'm just going to do this every day. That's how I show my nurturing to this seed. So I'm going to water it every single day. And you guys just watch, man. Hopefully you guys will come along on the journey, subscribe, all that good stuff. But that's all it is, you know? And if there's one thing that I want to leave you with, is just start. Stop overthinking it. Again, learn that 70%. There's nothing wrong with that. And study as you go. Like, I'm doing trading right now, right? And I'm terrible at it, dude. I have my wins, I have my losses and stuff. But like, I'm doing it every day, but I'm also studying it every day. And do that with what you're doing. You don't have to know everything just to start. Just start, man. Like, get on there, put yourself out there, take a risk, take that shot, man. What's the other thing that MJ said? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Again, very cliche, but it hits for a reason, because it's true. Get out there, take that shot, do what you want to do, because trust me, if maybe I'll make a video about that, like what I wish I knew in my 20s, but a big one was this message right now is just start. If I knew that in my 20s, I'd have a huge head start. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys can take that or run with it. Just start something. Get after it, go hard, enjoy the process, because it's not always about the destination, man. It's about that. It's about the journey, dude. It's about, like, these videos that I'm putting out now, they're going to suck. But again, wait 10 months, man. I'm going to get better at talking. I'm going to sharpen my talking skills. I'm going to sharpen the overall framework and the skeleton and the bullet points of the video so that it's more concise. Thumbnails will get better. Topics will get better. All this stuff. And that can't happen. Another cliche. I don't know why I'm full of cliches today. Another cliche. You can read for 10,000 hours about how to ride a bike, but then you're going to get on that bike and you're still going to be like, whoa, whoa. You know, I think my pastor actually said that. Maybe that's why it's sticking with me. But you can read books about how to ride a bike all day, every day for the rest of your life. But until you get on that bike and start practicing and start doing it, you're never going to learn how to ride a bike. So I think I'm all out of cliches for today. Hopefully you guys got something from this. If you've gotten this far, man, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for spending your time with me as always. If you want to join me on this, I'm going to be posting every day, man. It's great. I love this. And yeah, so anyways, like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff helps the algorithm a ton, gets me out there and everything. But yeah, other than that, like I said, guys, go start it. This is your sign right now. Go start whatever it is you've been thinking about. Just do it. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, and peace.